Hare Krishna, Sanwanani, Dumelang, Molweni, Tobela, Absheni. How's everyone doing? I hope that everyone is doing well and having a very pleasant Tuesday, day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, or whenever you're watching this. I hope that everyone is well. I'd like to thank our previous readers for amazing sharing of realizations and just amazing readings. Last week, Wednesday, we had Itu, a very beautiful rendition that she gave us. On Thursday we had the book club. Some of you were not there, I don't know why, but we had a lovely session reading Krishna book. We're on the 15th chapter of Krishna book. We are going through so many adventures. On Saturday we had Savyasachi Prabhu. On Sunday at Bongi Siku Prabhu. And yesterday we had Kulu Prabhu giving us a very enthusiastic reading of what it means to be a pure devotee. And today we're at the final chapter. Can you believe it? We're at the very end of this book. It went by so quickly. And the title of this chapter is 6 Features of Pure Bhakti. So we'll be hearing from that today. It's quite a lengthy chapter. So I think I'll save my commentary for the end, and where I feel like there is a need to comment on something, then I'll comment. But otherwise, I just want to get through it as quickly as possible so we can share at the end. Tomorrow, we have a debriefing session of this particular book, and then we'll share with you an exciting thing that will be happening from next week. We have an exciting program, and I think you want to be a part of this one. Like, for real, you want to really be a part of this. So, without any further ado, let's do our magical invocation. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Whew. And just like that, let's get straight into it. This book is called Bhakti, the Art of Eternal Love, and you'll be reading along with us on the screen. We are on the 10th chapter of this book, and the title is 6 Features of Pure Bhakti. So it goes as follows. Next, Rupa Goswami gave 6 unique features of pure devotional service. Number 1. Pure devotional service brings immediate relief from all kinds of material distress. Number 2. Pure devotional service is the beginning of all auspiciousness. Did you hear it? Yeah. It's not my words. It's Srila Rupa Goswami's words. Number 3. Pure devotional service automatically puts one on a transcendental pleasure. Number 4. Pure devotional service is rarely achieved. Pure devotional service is rarely achieved. Number 5. Those in pure devotional service derive even the concept of liberation. Even the concept of liberation. Number 6. Pure devotional service is the only means to attract Krishna. Krishna is all attractive, but pure devotional service attracts him. It attracts even him. This means that pure devotional service is even transcendentally stronger than Krishna himself, because it is Krishna's internal potency. So, we'll go through number 1. Krishna consciousness brings relief from material existence. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that one should surrender unto him, giving up all other engagements. The Lord also gives his words there that he will protect surrendered souls from the reactions of all sinful activities. Srila Rupa Goswami says that the distress from all sinful activities are due to both the sins themselves and the sins committed in our past lives. Generally, one commits sinful activities due to ignorance, but ignorance is no excuse for evading the reactions of distress. Sinful activities are of two kinds: those with mature and those which are not mature. The sinful activities from which we are suffering at the present moment are called mature. The many sinful activities sorted within us for which we have not yet suffered are considered immature. For example, a man may commit may a man may have committed criminal acts but not have been arrested for them. Now, as soon as arrest is awaiting him. Similarly, for some of our sinful activities, we are awaiting distress in the future, and for others, we which are mature, we are suffering at the present moment. I am having like technical problems. I would just like to fix it for a moment. Okay, there we go. I was not being able to see myself. Pardon. It goes on. In other words, they are chains of sinful activities that others contaminate the distress and conditions of the soul, suffering life after life due to their sins. He is suffering in the present life as a result of sinful activities from a past life, and meanwhile creating future sinful activities for his future life. Mature sinful activities are exhibited if one is suffering from one chronic disease, if one is suffering from some legal implication, if one is born in a lower or degraded family, or if one is uneducated or very ugly. Oh, the detail. Wow. How much are you suffering from your sinful activities from just that reading? Sure. Anyway, as we go on, there are so many results of past sinful activities which we are suffering at the present moment, and we may be suffering in the future due to our present sinful activities. But all of these reactions to sinful deeds can immediately be stopped if we take to Krishna consciousness. Let me read that again. But all these reactions of sinful deeds can immediately be stopped if we take to Krishna consciousness. So don't despair. There's a way out of all the suffering. There's definitely a way out, as we see here. As evidence from this, Srila Rupa Goswami quotes a verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam 11:14-19. The verse is in connection with Lord Krishna's instruction to Uddhava, where he says, "My dear Uddhava, devotional service unto me is just like a blazing fire that can burn into ashes, unlimited fuels supplied to it." The purport is that as the blazing fire can burn any amount of fuel to ashes, so can devotional service to the Lord in Krishna consciousness can burn up all the fuels of sinful activities. For example, in the Gita, Arjuna thought that fighting was a sinful activity, but Krishna engaged him on the battlefield under his order, and so the fighting became devotional service. Therefore, Arjuna was not subjected to any sinful reactions. Hmm. Srila Rupa Goswami quotes a verse from the third canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam 3:33-6, in which Devahuti addresses her son, Kapiladev, an incarnation of Krishna, who taught a type of yoga called Sankaya, and says, "My dear Lord, there are 9 different kinds of devotional service, being from hearing and chanting. Anyone who hears about your pastimes, who chants your glories, who offers you obeisances, who thinks of you, and this way executes any of the 9 devotional service. Even if he is born in a family of dog eaters, the lowest grade of mankind becomes immediately qualified to a platform of sacrifice. As such, how is it possible that anyone actually engages in devotional service in full Krishna consciousness has not become purified? It is not possible. One who engages in Krishna consciousness and devotional service has without doubt become freed from all contamination of material sinful activities. Devotional service, therefore, is the power of actual is the power to actually nullify all kinds of reaction to sinful deeds. A devotee is nevertheless always alert not to commit any sinful activities. This is the specific qualification of a devotee. Thus, the Srimad Bhagavatam states that by performing devotional service, a person who is born even in a family of dog eaters may become eligible to take part in the performance of all ritualistic ceremonies recommended in the Vedas. It is implicit in the statement that a person born in a family of dog eaters is generally not fit for performing dhyana or sacrifice. For the priestly caste in charge of performing ritualistic ceremonies recommended in the Vedas is called the Brahman order. Unless one is a Brahmana, he cannot perform these ceremonies. You see how, like, even the lowest caste is like given so many opportunities just by taking up devotional service. Like, there's so much one has to do to to take up devotional service or even to come close to these platforms, but we are doing it just by doing devotional service. We are like being elevated. But let's go on. I think we will discuss later. A person is born in a Brahmana family or a family of dog eaters due to their past activities. If a person born in a family of dog eaters, it means that his past activities were not sinful. But if one such person takes the path of devotional service and begins to chant the holy names of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, he is at once fit to perform ritualistic ceremonies. This means that that his sinful reactions have immediately become neutralized. The power of the holy names. Just by doing that, whatever had disqualified you before, just because you were not born in a Brahman family, now you are qualified just by the holy names. Let's go on. It is stated in the Padma Purana that there are 4 kinds of activities due to the sinful activities. Oh, sorry. I'd like to start that again. It is stated in the Padma Purana that there are 4 kinds of effects due to sinful activities, which are listed as follows. 1. The effect which is not yet fructified. 2. The effect which is lying as a seed. 3. The effect which is already mature. And 4. The effect which is almost mature. It is also stated that all these 4 effects become immediately vanquished for those who have surrendered unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu and become engaged in his devotional service in full Krishna consciousness. Those effects described as almost mature refer to the distress from which one is suffering at present. And the effects of the lying seeds are in the core of the heart, where they are certain stock of sinful desires, which are like seeds. Guard your hearts. guard your hearts, because in the future you'll be there with the almost mature sinful activities and suffering. So guard your heart, and yeah, protect your thoughts as well. I know in Kali Yuga, it is said that you're not disqualified or judged according to your thoughts, but most of your activities. But your thoughts become your activities later on. So guard your hearts and your thoughts. Don't let those seeds mature into and bloom into all kinds of sinful activities. Um, the Sanskrit word kuntam means that they are almost already ready to produce a seed, or the effects of seeds. An immature effect refers to the case where the seedling has not begun. From this statement, the Padma Purana, it is understood that material contamination is very subtle. Material contamination is very subtle. You can barely see that one. You only feel it, I think, after the fact. Have you ever just been with a group of people that were just not right, and you just couldn't put your hand on it because, like, you know the grandiose of like bad things and bad activities and doing wrong things, but it's the small things that later on become big things. I remember once in high school, a teacher made the example of protecting ourselves. There was a lot of things happening during that time, and it was just a crazy time. And she made the example, I think a lot of us didn't get it, but a few people did get it, that a farmer will plant a lot of maize, millies, and all of that. And seeing the threat of cows, goats, and other sorts of livestock, and even maybe wild animals, he'll fence his farm or these mealies, these grains, and all of this. And he will feel like, yo, I'm so secure, I fenced off all of this. But he forgets, or she forgets, to look at the soil, and also sometimes realizes, oh my word, these mealies are dying. Why is this? And when as time goes by, they all die, like they wither. Not just like how if a cow had eaten a bit of, or a goat had eaten a little bit of the millies, or the head of the this, or the head of the that, or a little bit of the crops. Like the whole thing is dead. And the farmer had just forgotten to look at the soil and the quality of the soil, and what was eating or destroying his crops were termites and other types of bugs hidden within the soil. So we often are able to see the dangers that are around us that seem grand, like don't do drugs, don't do this. But the subtle things, like the things we take in from social media, the things we take in from conversations with people, the ads that we watch, the content we consume, what we are reading, a lot of the time is what is creating all of this like sinful desire and a lot of mess. So the farmer, because of not checking the soil and what was eating or destroying his crops, was left with no crops. And in fact, if he had just allowed the cows maybe to come in, he knew that at least for the next season he'd still have crops because the roots would still be there. But the termites and other bugs had completely destroyed the roots. So he had to go buy more seeds so that he can cultivate new crops. So this the moral behind the story our teacher was telling us was, guard the small things, because they become big things and they become detrimental things that are very damaging to our personalities, to the people around us, and to our progress in life, because they seem small but the impact is very, very great in our lives. So yeah, just a little antidote about guarding the small things and how they become big things. Just thought I should share that. The subtle features that they talk about are very contaminating. Material contamination is very subtle. It's beginning. It's fructification and results, and how to suffer such results from in the form of distress as a part of a great chain. When one catches some disease, it is often difficult to ascertain the cause of the disease, where it originated, and how it is maturing. The suffering of a disease, however, does not appear all kinds of does not appear all of a sudden. It actually takes time, and if the medical field and in the medical field, the per- precautions sake, the doctor injects a vaccine to prevent the growing of contamination. The particular injection to stop all fructification of the seeds of all sinful activities, and simply engaging in Krishna consciousness. Ajamala, a sinner saved. In this connection, Sukadev Goswami speaks in the sixth canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam 6 to 17 about the story of Ajamala, who began life as a fine and dutiful Brahmana, but who in his young manhood became wholly corrupted by a prostitute. At the end of his wicked life, just by calling the name uh, Narayana or Krishna, he was saved despite much sin. Sukadev points out that austerity, charity, and performance of ritualistic ceremonies for counteracting sinful activities are recommended process, but by performing them one can not remove the sinful desire seeds from the heart. Pardon me. As was the case for Ajamala in his youth. The sinful desire seeds can be removed only by achieving Krishna consciousness. And this can be accomplished very easily by chanting the Maha Mantra or Hare Krishna mantra as recommended by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In other words, unless one adopts the path of devotional service, one cannot be 100% clean from all sinful reactions. By performing Vedic ritualistic activities, by giving money in charity, and by undergoing austerity, one can temporarily become free from reactions of sinful activities. But at the next moment, one must again become engaged in sinful activities from venereal diseases on account of excessive indulging in sex life, has to undergo sev- some severe pain and medical treatment, and he is then cured from the time being. But because he has not been able to remove the sex desire from his heart, he must again indulge in the same thing and become a victim of the same disease. So medical treatment may give temporary relief from the distress of such venereal diseases. And unless no, sorry, diseases. But unless one is trained to undergo this, to understand that sex life is abominable, it is impossible to be saved from the repeated distress. Similarly, the ritualistic performance of charity and austerity that are recommended in the Vedas may temporarily stop one from acting in a sinful way, but as long as one's heart is not clear, one will have to repeat sinful activities again and again. Again, guard your heart. I'm seeing here from just a quick announcement from Wusa Admin that we'll be reading just the first chapter. So I know it was exciting to think that we're going to be having a debriefing session tomorrow. So we'll be just reading the first one of the six recommendations given by Rupa Goswami, and then we'll continue that throughout the week. So stay tuned tomorrow. No need to worry about that. It will be giving us the second instruction by Srila Rupa Goswami. So let me just go on here. I just needed to make that announcement really quickly. Another example given in the Srimad Bhagavatam concerning an elephant who enters the lake and takes a bath very seriously, cleaning his body thoroughly. Then, as soon as he comes out of the shore, he again takes some dust from the earth and throws it over his body. Similarly, a person who is not trained in Krishna consciousness cannot become completely free from the desire, of sinful activity. Neither the meditative yoga process, nor philosophical speculation, nor fruitive activities can save one from the seeds of sinful desires. Only by being engaged in devotional service can this be done. There is another evidence in the fourth canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam 4:22-39, wherein Sankat Kumar says, "My dear king, the false ego of a human being is so strong that he keeps him in material existence, as if tied up by a very strong rope. Only the devotee can cut off the knot of this strong rope very easily, by engaging themselves in Krishna consciousness. Others who are not in Krishna consciousness but are trying to become great mystics or great ritual performers cannot advance like the devotees. Therefore, it is the duty of everyone to engage himself in activities of Krishna consciousness in order to be freed from the tight knot of false ego and engagement in material activities. This tight knot of false ego is due to ignorance. As long as one is ignorant about his identity, he is sure to act wrongly and thereby become entangled in material contamination. This ignorance of factual knowledge can be disputed by Krishna consciousness, as it is confirmed in the Padma Purana as follows. Pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness is the highest engagement. And when such engagement is there, it is just like a blazing forest fire, like all the inauspicious snakes of desires, killing all the inauspicious snakes of desire. Imagine. That's such a graphic but important thing. Can you see it? Like, just by engaging in Krishna consciousness and devotional service, this blazing fire comes into the heart and just like just blows it up, and all the snakes of material desire, of inauspicious snakes of desire, are killed in the moment. The example is being given in this connection that when there is a forest fire, the extensive blazing automatically kills all the snakes in the forest. There are many snakes on the ground of the forest, and when the fire takes place, it burns and the dried foliage and the snakes are immediately attacked. Imagine. Animals who are four-legged can flee from the fire, or can at least try to flee, but the snakes are immediately killed. Similarly, the blazing fire of Krishna consciousness is strong that the snakes of ignorance are immediately killed. Krishna's promise. Just a second, dear devotees. Another technical issue I'm having. If Husa admin could kindly play a little ad, I need to charge this laptop or it will die. My apologies sincerely. Apologies for that. We're back. Like I feel like we're on those TV commercial things, and like things are going up and down, up and down. But I could not let you miss this very, very important promise from our beloved friend, our protector, the seed-giving Father. And it says, Krishna's promise. I'll try to go slow for this one. Everyone in the material world is full of anxieties. That is the nature of the material existence. One after the other, problems come. So if someone would promise us, just depend on me, I will solve all your problems, how much relief would you feel? Just imagine. Of course, we may not believe it. If some ordinary human being says to us, don't worry, I'll take charge of all your affairs, we may doubt his abilities to do so because we know his limitations. But when Krishna says, I will take charge of you, we should have full faith in his words and feel so much relief. Krishna is not an ordinary man. He is the all-powerful, supreme personality of Godhead. He is Ye Yogevira, Yogeshvara, the master of all mystical powers, and he is the absolute truth. Therefore, when he promises in the Bhagavad Gita, give up all your attempts to solve your problems and just surrender to me, I will take charge of you and nullify all your sinful reactions. We should feel assured that we will be delivered from the actions of all sinful activities. And just like that, we have come to the end of the first of the six descriptions or features that we are given by Srila Rupa Goswami. Wow, just number one is long. Imagine how much more we have to go, but so powerful. The last one, Krishna's promise, like we can just take that. Like we're given, God says, Krishna says, our friend says, give me all your burdens. I'll take care of it. And even your sinful actions, I got you. And he's the supreme personality of God. Like if you come to the Thursday book club, you will realize just how much he's doing with his brother Balaram, that you have no choice. Like you have choices, but really their choices are limited compared to taking up this promise that just surrender unto me, because he is just like killing demons like nothing. So why not give this demon killer your problems and he'll handle it for you? And even the demons that are inside you, these desires, these inauspicious desires that we have, why not try and chant his names and take association and take up devotional service so that we can also take some of that fruit of activity and try to clean our hearts and cleanse ourselves of all these desires. I don't know, man. Seems like a great deal. Seems like we're getting a lot more than we are putting in. Like it's a great deal, great deal. I don't know if we have any questions at the moment. Any questions? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Can't read your name, but Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for joining us. Narottam Prabhu. Hare Krishna, good reading. Thank you, Narottam Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining us. Musa 108, beautiful example of the farmer and the soil, the subtle influence on the grows. This is true. This is very true. I never forget that example. And we are hearing it again here from Srila Rupa Goswami saying that the influence of material nature is so subtle that we just really, really need to watch ourselves and what we do and what we take in. And then watch what we put out. Do we have any more comments, questions? I don't know. If not, then I'd like to invite you to join us again tomorrow. Iti will be giving us a beautiful, beautiful reading and rendition of number 2 of the 6 speeches of Pure Bhakti by Srila Rupa Goswami. And for me, it will be good night. Don't forget to join us on the Thursday book club. We are reading so much of Krishna book. It is, oh my word, it's so chilled, it's so nice. You get to ask so many questions, and it's just so sweet and so lovely. If you can, please pop through and join us. It's so lovely that side. Like, you guys are missing out, honestly. Yeah, let's not, I'm not trying to be greedy with all of that, but come through, come through. From me, it's a good night. Sinlalin Gatle. We'll catch you again tomorrow with Itu giving us a beautiful reading of the second feature of the 6 features that of pure devotional service or pure bhakti. From me, Hare Krishna and good night.